Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a review on the new foundation by Bourjois, which is called City Radiance. This was released either in December 2015 or at the beginning of 2016, and I picked it up over 2 weeks ago, and I've been using it on and off throughout those 2 weeks. And today I'm going to be doing a demo and review for you guys, and I'm going to start with the demo because my face is completely bare. I only have my brows done and my eye makeup. To apply the foundation, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques buffing brush and the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Just in case if you guys like brushes or you like sponges, I'm going to start doing reviews like that and demos with 2 different tools because I find them really helpful. Now my face has been washed and moisturized, of course, but I'm going to be using my primer now, and to prime my face I'm also using a new product which I will be doing a review very soon, and this is the Nivea Men Sensitive Post Shave Balm, which has 0% of alcohol. I've been trying this now for the past week, and definitely a review is due very soon on this. So this is how much I'm going to apply from the balm. I find it it's kind of like, it applies like a moisturizer, so, and it smells, it does smell really nice. It smells like men. It's a masculine smell, but it doesn't linger. So I'm going to apply that until I start feeling that it is a little bit tacky. So the shade that I have in this foundation is 04 Beige, and I tend to always go for beige foundations from Bourjois, but I'm going to say right off the bat that this foundation is slightly light for me. So this is how it looks. It's not runny, but it's not too thick either, but it does stay put on the hand. But you guys will see once I start applying that it doesn't feel or look like it's a heavy or thick foundation. So on the right side of my face, I'm going to be buffing the foundation with the Real Techniques buffing brush. This foundation is very easy to blend, and it does feel somewhat light on the skin. It doesn't feel like it's heavy or anything like that. I don't know if the camera's picking up, but this shade is just a little bit light for me, but I make it work. I'd rather have a foundation that it's light than too dark. So this is the right side already finished, applied with the brush. As you can see, it just applies nicely. Like I said, the foundation is very blendable, and you can still see my imperfections. I had a lot of breakouts this month. You can still see this one here on my chin, and some marks, you know, some scars that I have on my skin. So I'm going to start now blending the foundation with the beauty sponge on this side. So here is the left side finished with the application of the sponge. I can see a lot more imperfections on this side than I do on the right. So I feel like this just shears out the foundation even more, which is normal. Sponges tend to shear out foundations. So because this is a light buildable coverage foundation, I would definitely recommend the brush. So what I'm going to do now is apply another layer so you guys can see what type of coverage you can get from this foundation. And I'm going to be applying it all over the face with the brush because I find that it gives me more coverage, and at the moment that's exactly what I need. I had a lot of breakouts last month, and I tend to go for a bit heavier coverage when I have a lot of breakouts. So here is a close-up of the foundation on the skin with 2 layers. It did cover a little bit better, but I can still see this breakout that I have, which is quite recent, and I still have one here that is going away, but you know, it's gonna last a little bit. It's that time of the month and we suffer. But the foundation gives a really nice and natural finish, and it also has a lot of radiance. Do you guys see this on my cheeks? It's all the foundation on its own doing that. So what I'm going to do now is finish the rest of my makeup and come back with my review. Okay, so makeup done. I am ready now to go through the goods and the bads, if there's any, about this foundation. But first, I'm going to talk about the packaging. It comes in a plastic squeezy tube with a screw-on lid. I absolutely love and appreciate packaging like this because it's safe for traveling. It's not heavy. If you drop it, it's not going to break. If you carry with you on your day-to-day basis, like to school or work, it's perfect. It's just plastic. The screw-on lid is not going to come out just like that and, you know, become a mess in your bag. I really like this type of packaging. And I have to show you this. It's similar, if not identical, to their Air Matte foundation, which was released late summer 2015. I've done a review on this foundation. If you haven't seen it, it will be linked below. It comes in the standard amount of 30 ml, which is 1 fluid ounce. It retails for $9.99, and that's in sterling, pounds here in the UK. It's quite affordable. I love that Bourjois doesn't really make their foundations all that expensive. They kind of like stay in the £10 range. Now when it comes to the shades, that's definitely one of the negatives. It only has 6 shades available. I have shade 404, which is beige. Now that my makeup is completely done, it kind of like on camera it looks like it matches me to a T, but it's just a little bit off. Now, talking about the foundation shades, it's very poor. Bourjois is a huge makeup brand, and I just don't understand why they would only release shades for light to somewhat medium skin tones. There's a lot of fair people here, and there's a lot of deeper skin tones here in the UK, and Bourjois foundations are usually really nice. They're like one of my favorites from the drugstore. It's just a shame that they don't have enough shades available. The description on the Boots website, because that's where I bought the foundation, it says City Radiance Foundation contains SPF of 30 and has an anti-pollution screen that reduces the presence of carbon particles on the skin, resulting in a fresh, luminous complexion. The formula hydrates for 24 hours and gives a light to medium coverage. It also says how to apply. It says apply starting in the center of your face and blend outwards. Now, one of the things that I can appreciate about this foundation is that it has SPF of 30. I don't tend to use moisturizers that have SPF because I just use the SPF that's on my foundation. So if this already has SPF 30, it will definitely protect my skin. And I love the fact that they're doing a foundation that protects you from the pollution in the city. So it's perfect for your everyday use. I have to agree that this foundation gives a light to medium coverage, because by applying my second layer, it covered up so nicely, but my skin still looks like my skin, which I can appreciate. So if you like full coverage, this is definitely not for you, because I don't think you can start building up too much, especially when they just claim that the foundation is light to medium. I wouldn't start putting layers on top of layers. That's why you need concealer. If you want to cover a little bit more, just apply concealer. I didn't on my blemishes, and I feel like the foundation covered my imperfections very well. Now you could see from the demo that the foundation definitely has a luminous finish. I wouldn't say it's dewy because it didn't feel wet, and it doesn't feel wet now. It has completely set, and I've had the foundation on for like 15 or 20 minutes. It has completely set onto the skin, so it's not a dewy foundation. They also don't claim that this foundation is for a particular skin type. I would say anybody can use it, but if you are of a very oily skin type, I would not recommend this foundation, because I found myself blotting every 3 hours. The first 3 hours I had to blot, especially on my nose, and after 2 hours I had to blot as well. So it's not a foundation that I would say it would work wonders on oilier skin. But if you have combination, you can get away with it, but just bear in mind that you will be blotting throughout the day. I personally think that this foundation is more for normal to dry skin, but they don't claim that it is. So I would say anybody can try it, and if it works for you, then you go ahead and you wear the foundation. But me personally, I think it's more for a normal to dry skin type. Now, because I have combination skin, I always set my foundation, always, no matter what, because I want my foundation to stay put. And one of the areas, not only because I have combination skin, that I like to set really well, it's right over here on my smile lines, because foundations tend to kind of like separate or just crease, and this foundation definitely does that. If you don't set the foundation really well on your smile lines, it will start creasing and look a little bit cakey, which is something that I really don't like. I'm not too sure if it's the combination of products that I used prior to the foundation, but I also found that happens with this foundation here. So it could be that it's just a formula that they have. It's not suited really for people who have a lot of like smile lines or maybe wrinkles. I'm not too sure. I think the foundation is just going to sink into those or separate somewhat throughout the day. Bourjois claims that this foundation hydrates for 24 hours. I will say this, and I will say this in every video. Any brand that claims that the foundation lasts for 24 hours, I do not wear makeup for that amount of time. Maybe 12 hours, even 14, and those are in like rare occasions. I don't know if that's true, but the foundation does feel hydrating on the skin. So a lot of people, when they hear hydration, they feel like, oh, I have oily skin, let me stay away from that. I have dehydrated skin, so I appreciate the fact that the foundation hydrates my skin. But because it's hydrating and it has that luminosity to it, it's a foundation that I would not wear in the spring months or in the summer months. Definitely not, because my skin creates a lot of oil in those months, and I feel like this is just a winter foundation for me. So once again, if you are very oily or combination to oily skin, I believe that you can get away wearing this foundation in the winter, but definitely not in the warmer months. When it comes to longevity, I don't think that this foundation is long wearing, at least on my skin type. I apply my makeup around 6:30 in the morning. By 7 I'm out the door, and I only get home around between 5 and 6 o'clock in the evening. And by the time I looked at myself in the mirror, I felt like I didn't have that much makeup on my face. I still had something, like my face was not completely bare, but my nose was completely exposed. And by the time I took a facial wipe to remove my makeup, I barely had any foundation on that wipe. So it's not a long wearing foundation, definitely on my skin type. Maybe on somebody who has normal to dry skin, it will perform completely different, but on my skin, it's not long wearing at all. That is my review on the City Radiance Bourjois foundation. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have tried this one or this one here and which one you prefer. And thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!